Hello everyone, I have two videos to look at here, both of them looking at BM-21 grads being destroyed and both occurring in different places in Ukraine. So I'm going to have a look at each clip individually. In the first video, which is playing now, you can see the BM-21 grad is parked on a small roofed structure next to a house. The FPV drone hits the grad in the rear, near where the tubes are. Then we see a second drone arrive on the scene to give the grad a follow-up strike. As it flies over, a BMP-2 appears. So the drone sees that the BM-21 is smoking heavily. So the drone operator instead decides to hit the BMP-2. So a nice little Brucey bonus for us here. That strike, we can't see what damage was caused as there's no spotter drone to record the impact on the BMP. But we have seen these drones destroy BMPs in the past. But then again, we've also seen some BMPs take the drone strike and survive. So I would put this one at just damaged at least. Here's the geolocation. So the BM-21 was parked in the house shown by the red marker. The drone attacked it from the south, then the BMP appeared from the west, heading east as shown here. This is in a small settlement called Kodema, which, if we zoom out, you can see is southeast of Bakhmut. This was its hiding spot, not a firing position. So the BM-21 would have driven elsewhere to fire its rockets, returning here to be stored until its next mission. But on deep states I have had a range of grad from this rough location, just to give some idea of the coverage that a grad unit in this area would provide. I've used the 9M22 round, which has a max range of just over 20 kilometers. This is the most commonly used round used by the grad in Ukraine. Now the grad does have a longer range round of 40 kilometers, but that one is quite rare. So as you can see, a 20 kilometer or so round here covers the front line in and around the Bakhmut region, at least to the south of Bakhmut. Grads are valuable targets. While not very accurate, they do put down a lot of firepower to saturate a wide area with their rockets. I will have a look more at the grad later. First, let's zoom out so that we can see this grad was destroyed on Donetsk on the eastern front. Now, let's check out the second video that I have for you. So in this one, it's a bit different as we see HIMARS in action. This grad is just absolutely obliterated by a direct hit from HIMARS. You can see shards of wreckage go flying everywhere. Now, I'm not an expert, but I don't think this is going to be repairable. At least, not without a lot of glue and sticky tape. This was a standard HIMARS round here, rather than the M30A1 tungsten round, and it was a direct hit, again, showing just how accurate HIMARS is. For me, it's definitely the standout weapon of the war. This grad was geolocated by Blinsker on Twitter to be here, parked in the tree line indicated by the marker. This is a pine forest. Let's zoom out as we can't tell much of it from here. Now, so you can see here, this grad was destroyed in Kherson. It's near the sort of desert area. Let's check out the coverage of it. So this grad can cover all of the areas where Ukraine has made a landing over the Dnipro. It can cover Krinky, but at the upper limits of its range. It can easily cover Kozakchi Lahiri. Now, Ukraine doesn't have troops in that town yet, but we do have a troop presence in the woods north of it. It can cover the landings made at Pishinivka and near Poima, and again, at the upper limits of its range, it can cover the area of the Antonovsky Bridge. Now, this was the grad's hiding place, not a firing position. So this grad, it is possible that it moved a bit closer when firing. Do you see that orange marked road heading east to west on the map? We do have videos of Russia using that road as a firing position for grads and TOS 1s, so that is a very likely place where the grad launches from. Additionally, this grad launcher can also hit the river crossings. Now, if Ukraine does want to expand its foothold here and push further, they do need to make sure that these crossings are secure, which means destroying, or at least pushing back out of range, rocket systems like the grad and the TOS 1, as well as howitzers and the like. Zoomed out, you can see that this occurred in the south, near Kherson. Now, before we look at the grad losses in total, I want to have a look at Russian losses in Kherson since Ukraine landed here. Now, they did land in Leshki earlier this year near the Antonovsky Bridge, but here I'm just going to have a look at the larger landings made in mid-October near Pishinivka and then Krinky. Since then, Russia has deployed forces to the region to try and defend against the incursion. Not just old vehicles, modern systems like the TOS-1 and the T-90M have been sent here as well. And check that number out on War Spotting. 107 vehicles destroyed, 15 damaged since October the 10th in Kherson. The smaller, lighter vehicles such as the trucks you can see on this screenshot and the BTRs were mainly hit by drones. This is basically Drone Alley. And we also have some longer range strikes carried out by HIMARS, like we saw here, and standard artillery. Those ones hitting things like SAM systems, MLRS systems, utility vehicles to the rear and that sort of thing. Now, the reason I brought up these losses is because these are effectively free hits by Ukraine. Ukraine doesn't have any vehicles confirmed east of the Dnipro, so they aren't losing any armoured vehicles, other than maybe howitzers deployed in Kherson, which may get hit by Russian artillery further afield. But they're certainly not losing anything like tanks or infantry fighting vehicles here, whereas Russia, as you can see, is losing lots. So by landing troops here, Ukraine is forcing Russia to deploy vehicles to this region, vehicles which aren't being sent elsewhere like Donetsk or Zaporizhia. These vehicles are then hit by Ukrainian drones and artillery. It's an excellent trap, and as you can see, it's working well. And Russia has no other option than to keep sending vehicles to drone land, because if they don't, Ukraine could then have a chance to increase their presence here further. It's an excellent move, ensuring basically free hits on Russian vehicles, not to mention usually using cheap FPV drones. I mention this because Russian commentators and shills online often criticize Ukraine's actions over the Dnipro, saying it's a waste of time, a waste of manpower, achieving absolutely nothing, that sort of thing, which is completely wrong. It's basically forcing Russia to send its vehicles into an area where Ukraine can destroy them at will without any risk to Ukrainian vehicles. It's an excellent move, and it's clearly paying off. Now, quickly, let's check out Grad losses in total. 191 standard Grads are up on Oryx so far, 139 destroyed, the rest damaged and captured. There's also a handful of rarer Grad units too, the Grad 1 and the Grad K. Russia had 550 Grads in service last year, but they do apparently have quite a lot of these in reserve, albeit in mixed conditions. Here's a photo of one. It's a 122mm MLRS system from the 1960s, widely used by Russia and by many other countries. Now, before I finish, I'm going to play a video about the Ukraine Volunteer Centre's ongoing fundraiser. Big thanks to everybody who's donated so far, and thanks for watching this video. I hope you found it interesting. If so, please click like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Thanks so much, and take care, everyone.
Good afternoon, greetings from the Ukrainian Volunteer Center. Today we are announcing a new fundraising. The Land Rover car for the Stormtrooper in the Donetsk direction. Recently they lost the vehicle during the last artillery attack. 2 metal detectors and 1 generator for the guys from the 93 Brigade Холодный Yar. Generators are the main helpers of our fighters in the harsh conditions of war. We also need 1000 liters of GSL fuel for the 3rd separate battalion of the Ukrainian Volunteer Army Volyn. Fundraising goal is 50,650. For the highest donation, we will send a set of glasses with the logo of our fund on the last logo of our fund. We will also draw a second set of glasses using a randomizer among people who donate at least $12. By the way, these are the last 2 sets with the previous symbols of our foundation. All reports will be posted as usual after the fundraising. Thank you for being with us and helping us. Thank you for your being with Ukraine. With love from Ukraine. Good afternoon, greetings from the Ukrainian Volunteer Center. One of the subscribers of the HIMARS channel bought and sent us a DJI Mavic 3 drone with a new remote control with a screen. We are passing it to the guys from the 3rd Separate Battalion Special Forces, Bridget, near Bakhmut. We are very grateful for your trust and that you sent this drone to us. This drone will be help our soldiers to destroy the Russians and liberate our land from occupation much faster. Step by step, with your help, we will defeat the occupiers and establish peace in our country. I thank this man from the bottom of my heart. Thank you all for being with us. Love,
Please love Ukraine.
repeat please.
With
With love from UK.
Ukraine.